everybody. Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. We are in the kitchen today with our friend, Chef Chris Hill, and he's making steak and artichoke pesto and quinoa salad. Chris Hill, how long has it been, my man?
Well, I got married near a year ago, and I think I've not been back since.
Yeah,
so.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir, yeah.
So how was the wedding and the honeymoon, and how's married life and all that?
It's all great. We actually got married the weekend of Hurricane Florence, so through a little wrenching things, but it actually worked out, and yeah, life is good.
Yeah, life is good. So what have you been doing since then? I mean,
I'm
trying to figure out how to be a good husband?
Yeah, trying for sure. And
okay, well, what's it like? I mean, I was a new husband like 25 years ago, and that was all. It was a real challenge just trying to figure it all out. What are you seeing right now? Is it just?
I'm not sure the challenges have changed too much.
Okay.
At least as I've experienced them.
I'm just trying to see, new married life through a new man's eyes as opposed to mine, which it's always something.
Well, let's sit down for some coffee. You can give me some advice. How about that?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can give you advice. Okay, that works. My advice: yes, dear. You're right, dear. Always. Just agree with your wife at all times.
All right. So we're doing some sous vide steak.
Yes. Let's talk about the sous vide. You've got the steak and the sous vide over here. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
I'm not sure if you can see on the camera there, but it's 142 degrees. We have a London broil in there that's actually with this pesto that we're going to make over here in a second. And it's going to cook, it needs at least an hour and a half, but the longer you cook it at 142, between 130 and 140 or so, it's going to, over time, break down the intramuscular tissue and give it a chance to tenderize. So
just put it in a bag and let it sit.
Put it in a bag. You can vacuum seal it if you want. I bought a whole one, so I have half in the fridge that I'm gonna show here in a little bit. But that's the other half. If you want, you can throw the pesto in there and freeze it, and do the same thing from frozen. So it's super easy if you're trying to get a quick meal out for the kids.
Okay.
You don't have to be over it the whole time. So I'm gonna do this pesto, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, some sunflower seeds.
Parmesan cheese.
Obviously, pesto usually has pine nuts,
seeds,
but that's allergy free. And then we're gonna do, let's see here, some basil.
Okay. Picked in the garden this morning.
It was indeed. I'm gonna save a little bit for garnish for the dish.
Okay.
And then let's see here.
Garlic.
Garlic. Thank you. We also there's obviously some sodium, some salt in the Parmesan cheese, so we're gonna hold off on the salt, with a little bit of pepper. And then some olive oil.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Right.
And then some artichoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you can throw it in your food processor or blender, or I have this kind of easy hand one. I'm not gonna even try and do it here. I'll do it in a break.
Okay.
It'll end up looking like this.
Well, here let's hear. Well, of course, you know what pesto looks like. So
right.
There it is, right there.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Looks good.
Then we have our quinoa. So two cups of chicken stock, chicken broth, water if you want to do that.
Right.
Bring it up to a boil, which we're basically there right now. I'm going to add the quinoa. You obviously want to rinse it beforehand.
That seems like a lot. It seemed like a lot going in a little bit amount of water.
It's 2 parts liquid to 1 part of the quinoa. We give it a little stir, and then once it comes back up to a full boil, we'll then reduce it down to a simmer, and then we'll kind of keep an eye on it, give it a stir every now and then with the top on.
Okay, good stuff. So in the next segment, we're gonna cook up the steak.
That's right. We're gonna finish it up in there, and then we're gonna sear it on here to give it a nice kind of crisp brown texture on the outside. Super
quick and simple, and we're gonna talk more with Chris Hill about see what he's up to, and maybe talk more about his marriage. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Chris. Chris is back. Hey, we're back in the kitchen today with one and only Chef Chris Hill. He's making steak and artichoke pesto with quinoa salad. Chris Hill, welcome back, my man. We are back from our second segment. How does the steak look? It's pulled out of the sous vide.
It is. So I took it out probably 10 minutes ago. It's come down in temp a little bit, but if you see, it's like still probably 135 or so.
What do you want it to be at?
Well, so we had it at 142.
Okay.
Medium's 145. So after we sear it off in the pan, as you come up temp a little bit more, it'll be right at 145 or so.
So you set the sous vide on 145?
I said on 140. I said 142.
142.
Once you throw it in the pan, sear it on both sides, it'll come up a little bit more.
Okay.
And they're really cool. So this is an Anova's product. This one's called the Joule by Chef Steps.
Right.
They actually this one's all done through an app in your phone, which is pretty cool.
Should everybody who likes to cook have a sous vide, you think?
I really think so. And if you can't, or you can't afford it right now, use your stock pot at home. You can use a thermometer like this to kind of check the temperature every so often.
Right.
And as long as you maintain the same temperature over a long period of time, you're doing the same thing. It's just it makes it a lot easier because
just on the stove.
What happens is you want to throw this on the
Sure.
The grill there. I would say you can use the tongs if you'd like, but go ahead.
Knife will work just as
So
well.
I'll say the oil's smoking a little bit, which means it's nice and hot. We're going to sear that on both sides. And so the idea of the sous vide is we have a London broil here, which is the top round. It's the back kind of by the legs, so it gets a lot of work.
Right.
Unlike the loin, which is nice and tender. So this is very lean, but it's also it can be very tough. So if you ever cook it medium, like on the grill or something like that,
right,
it might not be super tender like a filet would be, right? Yeah, exactly.
And just chewy.
So what this does is over the course of, an hour and a half or so with about an inch and a half, it's done.
Oh, okay.
But
hour and a half.
3 hours I started because after the hour and a half, it's going to start to break down. Once it gets about 135 or so, it's going to start to break down the fats inside. Right. And that's when it starts to kind of melt and soften up for you.
Should we flip it?
Yeah, go ahead and flip it. And then
I'll use the tongs this time.
And so what we're going to do here is, if you want to hand me that pesto over there.
Got you.
Actually, throw a little pesto in that. That's just Greek yogurt there.
A little pesto in there?
Yep. So it's going to be almost like an aioli, but a healthy version with Greek yogurt and pesto instead of
how's that?
Pesto and mayonnaise. Perfect. Not going to steal this from you.
Go for it.
And so all we're doing here is, if you have a vacuum sealer, great. But if you only have like a Ziploc bag, that works well too.
Here, let me have a little bit more.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So what we're doing is we're just going to throw this pesto here into the bag, and you want to make sure that it's nice and sealed, obviously, so no water gets in. But you also want to make sure that most of the air is sucked out. That way, it's not going to float on you. If it floats, it's not going to cook very evenly.
You don't want it to float.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is just squeeze that out, and then make sure it's sealed, like I said.
Will it sink though? I mean, that's kind of.
It definitely will. You saw it earlier, right?
Yeah, it was.
So we're going to kind of then make sure it's coated kind of all the way through.
Throw it in.
And yep. And then I have a little bit of air there, but it might kind of
work
itself out too.
So the meat's down in the water for
sure. Yep. So so then if you want, go ahead and take it off, and why don't you cut it alongside the bias? So cut it like
I don't know exactly what that means, but I'll go ahead and cut it.
Yep.
How about that?
Perfect.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice, so like perfect, nice and medium right there, right?
Yeah, that's pretty.
And it's gonna be a lot more tender than the London broil you might have had, off the grill that was only cooked for 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm gonna go ahead and plate some of this up.
Yeah, throw it on a plate real quick. I just want to say, what have you been up to real quickly? We're almost done.
I've been doing a bunch of consulting work, working over at Culinary Studio Virginia, having a good time. Just life is good, man.
All right, shout out to your wife.
Absolutely, thanks, buddy.
Shout out to your wife. Thank you, brother. Love you too. All right, you want to throw it on the plate?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so listen, Chris, thank you so much. It's great to see you as always.
You too, buddy.
And I'm glad everything's going well. Congratulations on the wedding and the marriage, and 1 year down and many more to come.
That's right.
Look at that. Looks awesome.
There we go.